Have you ever woken up, looked around the room, and felt like your eyes just would not focus, or walked into the kitchen and completely forgot why you were there in the first place? It is a frustrating feeling, and frankly, it is something that nobody talks about enough. We often dismiss these moments as just a normal part of life after 60, assuming that our eyes and our brains are naturally supposed to slow down. But what if I told you that waking up with blurry vision that takes 10 minutes to clear, or staring at a screen and feeling that burning fatigue after just 5 minutes, is not something you simply have to accept? Recent findings in the Journal of Nutrition and Healthy Aging have revealed a startling fact. Over 92% of adults over 65 are lacking at least one key nutrient required for eye and brain repair. The critical part here is that this repair happens while you are sleeping, not during the day. This means that every single night, your body is essentially starved of the very tools it needs to rebuild your memory cells and refresh your tired, dry eyes. Today, we are going to change that narrative. I am Dr. James Porter, and we are going to discuss 4 natural drinks, not pills, not supplements, but real foods, that science now shows can literally recharge your brain and vision while you rest. Let us begin by looking at what is really happening inside your body. When we talk about nourishing the body, we often think about energy for the day, but the most critical work happens when we close our eyes at night. I have seen patients go from experiencing frequent memory lapses and severe screen fatigue to waking up feeling refreshed, seeing clearly, and remembering more simply by adding the right juice to their evening routine. These juices work because they are blended the right way and taken at the right time to maximize absorption. The first juice we need to discuss is probably the most familiar to you, yet it is the one most often overlooked by our generation. If you ask me to name one juice that people undervalue, it is carrot juice. You might think you know everything about carrots, but carrot juice is actually one of the few natural drinks that directly nourishes 2 distinct parts of your body simultaneously: your retina and your prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the center of your memory and focus, while the retina is obviously crucial for your sight. Here is the mechanism behind why this works so effectively. Carrots are incredibly rich in beta-carotene. When you consume this compound, your body converts it into vitamin A. Now, vitamin A is not just a general health booster. It is absolutely essential for maintaining the health of your retina, specifically the photoreceptor cells. These are the cells that allow you to see in low light. Without enough vitamin A, these cells begin to degenerate. This is why so many of us experience night blindness, blurry vision, and dry eyes as the years go by. But that is only half the story regarding your eyes. Carrot juice also contains lutein and zeaxanthin. These are 2 powerful carotenoids that are proven to protect the macula, which is the part of your eye responsible for sharp central vision. Think of these compounds as an internal shield. They do not just prevent further damage, they actually help the eye recover from oxidative stress, which is vital if you have spent years exposed to screens or UV light. Now consider what this orange vegetable does for your brain. Carrot juice is high in a natural plant compound called falcarinol. Research has shown that falcarinol helps protect neuronal membranes and reduce inflammation in brain tissue. This is significant because inflammation is often the silent enemy of cognitive function. A study published in Frontiers in Aging Neuroscience in 2021 found that the daily consumption of beta-carotene-rich juice improved working memory and cognitive recall in adults over 65. This was especially true for those showing early signs of cognitive decline. In that same study, participants who drank 250 milliliters of carrot juice every morning for 8 weeks showed a 13% improvement in visual recall tests. A 13% improvement might not sound like a massive number at first, but when you apply that to daily life, it is the difference between forgetting your neighbor's name and remembering exactly where you left your keys. However, there is a secret to unlocking the power of carrot juice that most people miss. Unlike many other juices, the nutrients in carrots are fat-soluble. This means your body absorbs them best when you pair the juice with a healthy fat. If you drink it on an empty stomach with no fat, you are not getting the full benefit. So, if you are going to make this part of your routine, I recommend making it fresh in the morning. Use 2 to 3 medium carrots, peeled and juiced. If you want a little extra flavor or a nutrient kick, add a slice of ginger or a squeeze of lemon for vitamin C. But most importantly, drink it with breakfast alongside a healthy fat. Even just a piece of whole grain toast with avocado, or a small handful of walnuts, or a teaspoon of olive oil can make all the difference in absorption. When you give your body this specific fuel combination, your eyes wake up, your mind sharpens, and your day starts on an entirely different note. Moving on from the bright orange of morning, let us talk about a deep red juice that might be even more powerful, especially if you struggle with brain fog or poor circulation. This one is bold, earthy, and it works fast. We are talking about beet juice. Now, let us be honest for a moment. Most people our age do not immediately think about blood flow when they notice memory loss or blurry vision. We tend to think of those as separate issues. But you should think about them together, because without strong, steady circulation, your brain and your eyes are starved of the very thing they depend on to survive: oxygen. And this is where the unique mechanism of beet juice comes into play. Beets are incredibly rich in dietary nitrates. When you drink beet juice, your body converts these nitrates into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a natural molecule that acts like a traffic controller for your circulatory system. It signals your blood vessels to relax and widen. This process is called vasodilation. Why does this matter for your memory? Because as your blood vessels expand, more oxygen-rich blood is able to reach your brain and your retina. It delivers the fuel these organs desperately need to repair themselves, which is especially critical at night. The science backs this up robustly. A clinical study published in the Nitric Oxide Journal in 2020 found that adults over 60 who drank beet juice daily had significantly improved cerebral blood flow. This improvement was particularly noticeable in the frontal lobe, which is the area of the brain responsible for attention, decision-making, and short-term memory. That same study showed that after just 4 weeks, participants had faster reaction times and better focus during cognitive tests. When it comes to your eyes, nitric oxide plays a similarly protective role. It supports the vascular network of the retina, helping to prevent microvascular damage. This type of damage is often a precursor to age-related macular degeneration. Another study published in the Journal of Ocular Pharmacology and Therapeutics in 2019 confirmed that increased nitric oxide production from beet juice consumption helped maintain retinal thickness and reduce oxidative stress in aging subjects. What I love most about beet juice is the speed at which it works. Unlike fat-soluble compounds like those in carrots, which take time to build up and absorb, nitric oxide production from beet juice begins within 30 minutes of drinking it. That means you could experience sharper focus, better blood flow, and clearer vision sometimes within the same day. Of course, results vary from person to person, but if you have been feeling mentally sluggish, or if your eyes feel tired, dull, or strained by the afternoon, this might be the natural boost your body has been waiting for. My recommendation for drinking beet juice is specific because of its energizing nature. Use 1 medium raw beet, peel it, slice it, and juice it. Since the flavor can be quite earthy and strong, I suggest adding a small apple or half an orange to balance the taste. Ideally, you should drink this in the afternoon between 2 and 4 o'clock. This is the time when most people feel that natural drop in energy and mental clarity. You can also pair it with a brisk walk to maximize that blood flow, but even on its own, it is incredibly powerful. Just 1 glass a day ensures your brain and eyes get the oxygen-rich blood they need. Now, let us shift gears to a completely different kind of power. While beets help with flow and carrots help with maintenance, this next juice works on a cellular level to rebuild and protect. It is the deep purple power of blueberry juice. While some foods act as a shield, others actually help rebuild what time and age have taken away. Blueberry juice does both. Blueberries are one of the richest natural sources of anthocyanins. These are powerful antioxidants that give the berries their deep blue color. They do not just fight inflammation, they stimulate neurogenesis. That is a scientific term that simply means they help your body create new brain cells. This is not just a theory, it is a proven biological process. A landmark study published in the Journals of Gerontology Series A in 2020 showed that seniors who consumed wild blueberry juice daily for 12 weeks experienced significant improvements in memory recall, processing speed, and neural activation on MRI scans. Researchers have linked these incredible effects to the ability of anthocyanins to cross the blood-brain barrier. Once they cross that barrier, they reduce oxidative stress in the hippocampus, the memory center, and enhance something called brain-derived neurotrophic factor, or BDNF. You can think of BDNF as fertilizer for your brain. It is a protein that helps brain cells survive and grow. For your eyes, blueberry juice plays an equally powerful role. Anthocyanins protect the retinal ganglion cells. These cells are crucial because they are responsible for transmitting visual signals from the eye to the brain. If those signals are weak, your vision is weak. A study from Molecular Vision in 2019 found that regular intake of blueberry extract preserved retinal structure in older test subjects, even when those eyes were under oxidative damage. This is why blueberry juice is so effective. It does not just slow the decline, it supports cell regeneration in the very systems that keep you thinking clearly and seeing sharply. I recall one of my patients, Helen, who was 74. She told me her reading had become frustrating because the words would blur and her brain felt slow. She started drinking blueberry juice every evening. Within weeks, she was back to her crossword puzzles, feeling sharp, focused, and smiling again. If you want to try this, here is what I recommend. Use fresh or frozen wild blueberries, about 1 cup. Blend them with a little water, or if you prefer a thicker juice, you can add half a banana. The timing here is key. Drink this in the evening, about 90 minutes before bed. That is when your brain begins its nightly repair cycle, and these nutrients can go straight to work. It will not fix everything overnight, but when you give your brain and eyes the right building blocks, they respond and rebuild. Finally, we have saved one of the most surprising juices for last. It is green, it is humble, and it might just be the ultimate elixir for aging minds and tired eyes. We are talking about spinach juice. Spinach is often one of the most underrated brain and eye foods in the world. When you juice it, you unlock its full potential. Spinach contains lutein and zeaxanthin, similar to carrots, but these carotenoids are literally stored in the macula, the central part of your retina responsible for detailed vision. As we age, the levels of these protective pigments naturally decline. When that happens, the macula becomes vulnerable to oxidative stress, UV damage, and inflammation, which are the root causes of blurry vision and macular degeneration. But spinach juice offers more than just protection. It supports functional repair. A study published in Nutrients in 2020 found that higher blood concentrations of lutein and zeaxanthin from leafy greens were directly associated with improved contrast sensitivity and visual processing speed, especially in older adults. In simple terms, this means you see clearer, and your brain processes what you see faster. Now, consider the brain benefits. Spinach is loaded with folate, a B vitamin that is essential for neurotransmitter production, especially dopamine and serotonin. These are your brain's chemicals for mood and motivation. But perhaps more importantly, folate helps regulate homocysteine. Homocysteine is a compound that, in high amounts, is toxic to brain cells and is strongly linked to cognitive decline. In 2018, a randomized trial published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that older adults with low folate levels scored lower on memory and attention tests. When folate was restored through diet, cognitive function improved measurably. Additionally, spinach provides vitamin K, which supports the integrity of brain cell membranes and plays a role in myelin formation. Myelin is the protective sheath around neurons that help signals travel faster. What makes spinach juice especially powerful is its synergistic profile. It is a perfect balance of antioxidants, anti-inflammatory compounds, and essential vitamins that work together to protect, nourish, and reactivate dormant neural pathways. However, there is one catch you must be aware of. Spinach contains oxalates, which can interfere with calcium absorption and may not be ideal in large amounts for people with kidney issues. That is why juicing in moderation is key. My recommendation is to use 1 large handful of raw spinach. Combine it with a green apple or half a cucumber to mellow out the strong flavor. Juice it fresh and drink it mid-morning or before lunch. This is when your body can fully absorb its nutrients without interference from heavy meals. Even 1 small glass can deliver a rush of clarity to your vision and your thoughts. So, we have explored all 4 juices. Each one targets a different system, but together they form a powerful natural protocol to support your brain and eyes. Now, let me show you how to combine them into one simple daily plan that is gentle on the stomach and easy to follow. The key is to work with your body's natural rhythm, not against it. Your eyes and brain repair themselves the most while you sleep, but they also go through peaks of activity during the day. Start your day with carrot juice. Drink it in the morning shortly after waking up. This gives your retina the vitamin A and carotenoids it needs to reset and focus for the day ahead. If you take medication in the morning, you can drink this after your first light meal. Then, look at the middle of your day. Spinach juice fits best here, around mid-morning or with lunch. The folate and vitamin K absorb better when your stomach is not too full or too empty. As you move into the early afternoon, usually between 2 and 4 o'clock, that is your window for beet juice. This is precisely when your energy tends to drop and circulation slows down. One small glass can restore mental sharpness and improve blood flow just when your brain needs it most. Finally, in the evening, about 90 minutes before bed, drink your blueberry juice. This helps activate the antioxidant pathways in your brain, boosts that crucial BDNF protein, and protects your retinal nerves while you sleep. Please remember, you do not need to drink all 4 juices every single day. You can rotate them. 2 juices a day is plenty, or you could focus on one for a full week and then switch to another. What matters is consistency, not perfection. These juices are not magic pills, they are tools. Over time, they restore the small systems inside you that modern life wears down. The fragile blood vessels in your retina, the communication lines between brain cells, and the memory circuits dulled by stress. You may not feel it on day one, but stay with it, because healing happens when you decide to support your body every day, a little at a time. I have spent over 30 years walking alongside adults in their 60s and 80s who thought they had lost too much to recover. I have seen the missed names, the blurred lines, and the moments of feeling like the world was slipping away. But I have also seen how the smallest daily choices can turn everything around. A glass of carrot juice to start the day, beet juice to wake the brain, blueberry juice to help neurons rest, and spinach juice to feed your focus. It is not a miracle, but it is momentum. Before you rush out to the grocery store, I want to remind you of something important. Please always consult with your doctor before making significant changes to your diet, especially if you are on medication or have conditions like kidney issues or diabetes, as juicing concentrates natural sugars and compounds like oxalates. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 4 juices, carrot, beet, blueberry, or spinach, are you most excited to try first? And why? Let me know in the comments below. If you found this information helpful and want more gentle, science-backed ways to stay sharp and strong, please tap the like button and consider subscribing. Let us keep learning and healing together.